everybody. Welcome back to the Beam Stream.
That's right, we're back, baby, and here we are.
Yes, episode number 2. We made it. We came again. We're here.
Well, we got lucky this time. They probably didn't listen to it at iHeart. They'll figure it out soon enough. But meanwhile, we'll keep going until they know better. This week we've got Brian Sherrod with us.
Hey, Brian.
He sounds so excited.
Say it with your chest, Brian.
To be here. This is awesome.
Good. We're glad to have Brian on board with us. We're going to talk about Brian's business here a little bit later, Cypress Electric, and ask him all kinds of questions that are of interest.
There's always that last minute chaos to getting this stuff done, and normally it's my fault. Well, it's not, but I'll take the blame anyways. But today, it was Patrick's fault. We got here, and somebody didn't bring his keys to the building.
Well, it's in my wallet. My wallet has my key card. Is there a worse feeling? Do you ever feel worse than you got to drive all the way back home to get something like that, to get your key card? It sucks.
It feels so good to me because, man, the amount of times that I get in trouble, I just can't wait to the next time and go, oh, but remember, I didn't even complain last week when you forgot the keys.
Yeah, all the way home, I kept looking over and seeing a little smirk on her face because she knew she's got a bullet now. So
yeah,
hold on to that one.
So it was a good week this past week. Did y'all have a good week?
We had a pretty busy week, yes.
You had a busy week? That's good. That's
all
money.
Over the place.
Everybody's got electrical issues.
Yes.
That's a good thing, I guess, for the business, huh?
Hey, it is.
It was Earth Day this past week.
Oh, yeah. What'd you do for the Earth?
Planted a tree.
Did you?
2 of them.
Oh, where at?
Your mom's
At my mom's.
and Brian's mom's.
Okay, at our mom's houses, right.
She'll be happy she got a new tree.
Yeah, it was not the greatest week in the world for me. I fully expected I would get drafted by the Cowboys, and it didn't happen. Now you can if you don't believe me, you can look on my Facebook page and see the video where I was doing the combine for Jerry Jones, trying to get his attention. And
You posted that?
yeah,
That's
I posted
awesome.
it. I just I want you guys to be able to see. I don't know why Jerry Jones wouldn't draft me. Why, I'm a little older? Don't be an ageist, Jerry. You need somebody. You need a winner. I'm a winner. Bring me on the team.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't. You didn't make it in the draft. Is that still going on, or does it end today?
I
like
think
3 days?
today is maybe the last day of it. I don't
It's the
know.
last day.
So today's the day.
I still have hope.
The guys that haven't gotten picked yet are sweating.
Round 2 was last night. So.
Yeah, if enough people reach out to Jerry, maybe I've got hope today to be one of Jerry's kids. I mean,
I wonder if one of Jerry's kids. It sounds like a foundation. One of Jerry's kids. I wonder if the Browns are gonna be any good this year. If they're gonna. Didn't OBJ
they
go
got-
there?
yes, and they got Kyler Murray, first
I love
round
him,
draft.
man.
I'm skeptical about any Heisman winner. They just typically don't do well in the NFL. As a rule.
The Browns typically don't do well in the NFL.
Well, they don't
That's
ever do
true.
well. Period.
They're like the Cubs of the NFL.
They could probably get whooped by the
Go
Bryant
Cowboys,
Hornets.
You know?
Go Cowboys.
But go Cowboys.
Yeah, you like the Cowboys?
Oh, yes.
Do you? Okay,
Yes.
all right then.
Yeah, I wanted to be a Cowboy cheerleader.
Yeah, me too.
Insert joke here.
No joke to insert, babe?
No, none at all. So, well, I had to relive a nightmare this week. I got my tattoo touched up. I was worried.
Can they see it?
So, yeah, on April 3rd, it's almost been a month, I got this tattoo. Now, keep in mind, I'm not really a big tattoo person. Like, I don't have any real, well, I kind of have half of one, I say. Like, should I even explain?
It's up to you, boo.
But either, I'll tell you in a second. Okay, so this is like my first official, what I like to tell myself is my first tattoo. And I didn't realize the fingers were so hard to tattoo.
The second most painful place to be tattooed, they say.
Your fingers. But I was a soldier, and I rocked through it all. And
Like 6 hours.
but the thing is that it started fading on my fingers, just my fingers. And so, yeah, this week I had to go back and get it
the
all
touch
done
up.
again. And I was like, what? And it was, man, PTSD like a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Man, she is a soldier because I'm gonna tell you what, that ain't no joke there. I mean, your skin is thin. There's a lot of bone right there.
Only thing thin on me, baby. But for,
And it's tough.
it did hurt, but
But
I
it's
got
a
it.
badass
I got it taken
tap.
care of. I say, okay, now that I have, this is my first one, but not really my first one. I'm gonna take you back, circa 2000. All right, where I got my first one, and it was one of those things where you just turn 18, so you think you can be cool and do it. And at that time, tramp stamps were really huge, but I didn't get the tramp stamp.
Thank God.
I reversed tramp stamp. I
have one. It's Corey's face.
If some of you ladies know, like when you were younger, you'd put those stickers like right on your panty line when you went into the tanning bed, so you would have like the little Playboy bunny that'd be like really pasty white when you got done. Kind of like right there is where I got it, but it was a crescent, like a half a moon, and a star going around it. It was probably about like that big.
Like Welcome to Disney World? Is that kind of what that was?
I don't know what it was. I might have been
When you
under
wish
the
upon a star?
influence. But either way, I can't even remember where I got it at. That's how bad it is. Like I don't know who tattooed me or what the place was. I know it was in Little Rock, but I don't remember where I was. Either way, it was a fun night. So I get this tattoo, and let's say, okay, well, when I got pregnant, yes, I ended up having to have a C-section. And I remember them telling me, they were like, hey, so we're gonna have to cut off a little bit of your tattoo. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's where we have to, cut to get the baby. I'm like, oh God, what am I gonna say? No, keep them in there. So they cut like, I'd say a quarter off the top of it. And then let's fast forward a couple more years. I got a little vanity in me, and I was like, hey, I want a tummy tuck. I be working out all the time trying to get that baby weight off. And when I went to have my tummy tuck, they were like, hey, we're going to have to cut some of your tattoo off. And I was like, well, take some. They already took some. At this point, it's not even recognizable. So they took
like
a
half
piece
a
of it
tat.
off, and now it's like maybe a half of a tattoo left. I don't even look at it. I can't tell you the last time I looked at it. Like, I don't. I refuse to. I get out of the I don't look in the mirror down. I'm like, I don't look at it. So I'm sorry for you to have to look at that.
It's just a blur color.
But hey, I'm easily identified if I ever get killed or something.
The-
You find my body.
the
You feel
half
like
a tat?
that girl with that shit on her body, like whatever.
It's like
it
a
is.
half-eaten bowl of Lucky Charms.
Is it that bad?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would get a cover up, but I'm just like,
Man,
man, it's like paying for a service that you don't get anymore.
Right. I mean,
Like an old cell phone company, you got a new provider now. You don't really pay the old bill, or at least my people don't. Like my kind of people don't. That's why I got bad credit. But either way,
These
so
technologies are
yeah,
really-
it's a crap fest. But
Hey.
anyway, I got a good one now.
Yeah.
Now I can just stand there and cover it up. It's on opposite sides.
Right. Well, speaking of good ones, I want to introduce you guys to Brian again. Now, Brian is with Cypress Electric, and they've been around quite a while. When did you guys start, Brian?
We started 2013.
In 2013. All right. Now, have you? I have to ask this. Have you ever been shocked?
Have I ever been shocked?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course,
It's
you say.
happened a few
Not by
times,
baby
yeah.
mamas, Brian, by the electricity.
Not by the police.
Oh,
like
yeah.
by you know.
Well, no, yes, I've been shocked. I've never been tased by
Okay.
the police. Never.
Now, what's the worst shock you ever got?
Well, I guess I was an apprentice. Several years ago, I was laying on my belly hooking up a dishwasher, which is a big no-no.
Oh, okay.
And it was hot.
'Cause
I
there's
didn't
the
know it
water
was hot.
down
It was
there?
supposed to be off. Well, no, it's because I'm grounded to the ground. I'm laying
Okay.
on my belly on the tile floor. And
Gotcha.
I get a hold of, I guess there was a load on the neutral from where somebody was doing the disposal. Got a hold of that. And my boss had to kick me off of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how long did those effects last?
You say kick you off of, sorry, to
Yeah,
interrupt
he
you.
kicked my arm.
Does
and
that
he
mean
said-
like you can't let go? It's that kind of
Yeah.
shock?
that was the only time that's ever happened where I couldn't let go.
Were you
It's-
scared? Do you remember that moment? Or do you
I
kind of
just-
black out in that
I
moment?
just remember I was just getting shocked, and it didn't last very long because he was right there and he kicked my arm, and it was over with.
Ooh.
And I remember what I felt was just anger. I was just pissed off.
You
I
like
was
the Hulk.
yeah, just,
That's
yeah,
what the
when you get
Hulk's
shocked-
based on.
When you get shocked, that's the emotion that I think you get mostly. It's just like you get mad.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Who cleaned up the pee?
There was no.
Oh,
Just
okay.
making
All
sure.
right. Now, and with you guys, you do all types of, you don't just do the standard, you do service.
Yes, sir.
So if somebody needs service, you do new homes, you do new construction, you do commercial. What all do you do, Brian?
Well, we'll do small commercial, mostly in the cabin area. Our favorite thing to do is just wire new houses.
Yeah.
New residential construction, but we do service, we do remodels. You've got a room addition that needs power added to it, we do that. We say no job's too small. Some jobs may be too big, but we're not really a great big company.
Yeah, how many guys you got, man?
I've got 3 guys total right now, so we're keeping up so
So
far.
you're
It's
a
getting busier.
true small business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you've been around a while,
About
and
7 years, I guess.
And I know this much. It would forgive the pun. It would shock you
Ew.
to know that how many people out there under the name electrician can come to your home and do work and really don't have the experience or the licensure behind them the right way, right?
Well, there's people out there that know how to do electrical work, but it doesn't mean they're electricians. You know, if you want to hire an electrician, you make sure they're licensed, you make sure they're bonded, make sure they're insured, because you may get some really cheap prices from somebody who's not even an actual electrician. They just may know how to do some wiring.
Wow.
And you got to compare apples to apples.
You gotta do your homework,
Yeah.
for
I'm
sure.
gonna tell you what, I can't tell you how many fires in homes start every single year
Absolutely.
because of faulty wiring.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, can Joe Blow do it? Yeah, maybe. Can he burn your house down? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for that same matter, about instead of hiring somebody that maybe doesn't know what they're doing, letting your spouse watch YouTube videos and thinks he can figure it out himself.
Even, you know what?
I'm just saying.
But you have to admit this. Most things I think I could YouTube my way through it. Electrical work, I don't mess with. I don't mess with electricity because I want to live.
You did on Ginger. You remember you tried, you and Tony Hobbs came over there, but Tony kind of knew a little bit about electricity. You tried then. Maybe something happened that you learned your lesson.
Oh, maybe so.
But I do
don't
remember you trying
doing
out
any
there.
of that.
Other than that, no, you're pretty good about that. Anything
No.
else he will try to fix.
Yeah, I
and
will
usually
try to
makes it
fix
worse.
I performed surgery last week. The guy didn't make it, but it was really close, and I felt proud that. So, what's the weirdest thing? I mean, I know in all the years you've been doing this, you got to come across some unusual situations. I mean, what kind of situations have you come across before?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is we had a remodel about a month or 2 ago, and we get up in the attic and look, it's got some really old wiring up there. And we see that the joints are tied together, they're twisted with wire nuts on them and everything, where they had junctioned them together.
Okay.
And rather than putting them in the code required boxes, or any kind of box for that matter, they had just put mason jars over the joints.
What?
Yes,
What?
Yes, we'd seen that up there. I took
Mason
pictures.
jars. Welcome to Cabot.
I took pictures. Actually, this was in North Little Rock. I took pictures.
Welcome
of
to
it
North
and
Little Rock.
posted it on Facebook and got a lot of jokes.
I
and
bet
stuff.
you did.
Yeah,
Now,
it was pretty funny.
I was thinking maybe more like, have you had the typical naked lady waiting for the electrician type scenario?
That service call has never happened.
So that's just in cartoons.
I
It
think
doesn't
it's
really.
a myth. It never happens.
Okay, yeah, I had a
Yeah.
cable guy. We asked that too. He said, "No, I've never had that happen."
Yeah.
What about finding, finding like weird things or dead things? Because I used to know
Oh.
some HVAC guys, and sometimes they would find like crazy dead animals in spots when they were, especially when these houses are being built and no one's in them yet, and they're the walls aren't up yet. It's
Right.
just,
I got a couple stories about some dead animals and stuff up in older houses. The craziest thing about wildlife, I guess, was me and my old boss when I worked for him. We were working on a house over off of off of where Brody Creek is in
Mhm.
Little Rock off Bowman Road, and there was a big, giant, full-sized hawk in the attic.
Dang.
And
A hawk?
we were in, yeah, a hawk. Like
They're
a falcon.
huge.
Yeah. And we were trying to wire that attic. We were pulling home runs, which is the panel runs that go across to the panel. And this hawk all of a sudden is there, just staring at both of us.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah, and I was just freaked out. He was freaked out. Razor sharp talons, that razor sharp beak. We called the game warden, so the game warden came out. Apparently, game wardens are prepared to handle people, but not animals.
Huh.
Because he said that he told us that he deals with people. He doesn't really
Right,
go with the wildlife
right.
and I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So all he had, I guess, was some mesh gloves, and we're all up there trying to catch the falcon, just to and not trying to hurt it or anything either. But we ended up making like a snare type thing. We used a piece of pipe and a wire, just a piece of telephone wire. Ran it through there, made a big old hoop, and I just kind of flipped it over there, and then I got him by his foot.
Lassoed.
And I put him down on the ground, and then there was an open window. He just jumped out the window and stood there looking at all of us with this, like, I am going to kill all of you.
I bet that was a little scary.
I mean, the look that hawk had on his face was insane.
I'll tell you what tripped me out. I don't know if you saw the video. I posted it online. I sent it to Laura, and I said, I can't stop watching this video. And it was this guy had some cable problems, and so he for some reason it was cut off or going off or something. So he just was going to look under the house real quick. And he said he began to crawl under there, and he saw a couple snakes. So he came back out, of course, and called this pest control company. And the video
was intense.
Oh my God, 45 rattlesnakes.
Oh my gosh.
They pulled out from under that house.
Yeah,
45 rattlesnakes. Of course, it's in Texas,
I could not stop watching the video. Like, I was so engulfed in like watching him get each one.
I would have been scared to death, man.
Oh yeah. And then too, they were like all so still. I mean, every now and then one of them would barely move. It was like they were all watching him like try us punk. It was so intense.
It's like a horror film.
You should post that video somewhere. It was so good. And I don't even like stuff like that.
I ran into a snake or two, but not a whole nest of rattlesnakes.
No, not like that.
Freaked me out.
The only bird encounter I remember, and it was a giant bird, and I wouldn't say I tried to hurt it. I tried to scare it, but back when we had our chihuahuas, which are they're kind of like little rats, they're not very big. They weigh like 5 and 7 pounds respectively. And this giant bird, and I do mean giant, like it landed in a tree right there in the back of the house there, and we live on the Saline River, so there's lots of wildlife. We've got a bald eagle's nest that's like a mile up that's protected, but this giant bird, and it's just staring at the dogs, just staring at him. I'm like, oh no.
And he tried to scare it off.
Man,
and
this
he kept throwing stuff at it. Could never get close.
I think it flipped me off at one point.
He wouldn't even budge. He was just looking at him like, seriously, guy? Really?
And so I took the dogs in, but come to find out, it was a big old vulture. And they don't eat live animals. It was just looking for dead carrion, they call it, dead animals to eat. But it freaked me out because I bet that wingspan was a good 7-8 feet, pretty easy. But
hey, speaking of unwanted animals, we did have a plumber come to our house last week. And when they got done taking care of business, it ended up just being something simple. Our ice maker line. But he went under the house. He was like, "You guys know you have a cat and a litter of kittens under your house," and it was like,
do you want them?
No. Now Patrick hates
I'd rather
cats.
have the rattlesnakes. Swear to God, I don't like
I
cats.
just love anything that's a being, and so I was like, no, we can't evict them yet. Like, at least let them get strong enough, get some baby claws going so they can defend themselves. So I don't know if they're still under there now. I haven't let them out. I haven't done anything.
We'll get Brian to look. Brian.
Someone might have free kittens for you.
I'm not feeding them either.
What do you feel like? Because when people, there's so many choices out there. With the internet, you can look all kinds of people up. What do you think sets Cypress Electric apart from other companies? What makes you guys the guys to call?
Well, mostly what I can say is we pay a lot of attention to detail. I have a small overhead cost, so my vehicles are paid for, shops at home, so we are able to offer lower prices and still for the same quality, or better quality even, because I'm pretty OCD about how everything looks. I don't want it to look sloppy and messy, so everything.
You want it to be aesthetically pleasing.
Everything looks neat and nice. I know it's getting covered up, but before it gets covered up, somebody's going to see it, and I want those people that see it to, see, hey, look, this is a good workmanship.
Right.
And so we try to show the best workmanship that we can show. Our prices are pretty much, I think, lower than anyone's around. I mean, there may be some, but I don't know if that's really compared.
So they're not paying for your yacht in the Caribbean.
No, I do this for a living. We're not getting rich off of it. But,
He told me, he literally said, I just came from a job today when he came to do the podcast, and we do it on Sunday. So my man got a call and went into action on Sunday. Is that's right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the boss out there doing work himself. Now, I guess in your line of work, you kind of have to learn a little bit more than just electrical, because you're working with all kinds of different things to put that electrical in. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's well, as far as running the business, is that what you're asking? Running a business?
Well, I'm talking about being an electrician in general. You have to know more than just electricity.
Oh, well, yeah, you've got to be able to operate a saw and everything. You have to make cuts, and you have to be able to make nice, clean holes to put your boxes into. I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, you might have to frame in a can light, so you need to know how to cut a joist and to frame it in properly and stuff like that.
So you'd say you're kind of handy in general.
I'm kind of handy in general.
Can you fix my ceiling fan?
Most likely.
Because it's got one blade on it that's
Now
messed
that would
up.
be the real test.
Oh,
I
you know
did.
what I
And it
tell
goes
everybody? When you got a ceiling fan that's off balance, it's cheaper for you to buy a new fan, because
Is that right?
the amount of hours that it takes to balance a ceiling fan, if we were charging you by the hour, would cost you more than just buying a new fan.
I don't even know if it's a balance situation.
I'm telling you, it's a balance
If you got
situation.
one blade that's off, it's a balance.
I know
It's not off.
Well,
The blade is not
look,
off.
it wobbles. It's got to be a
I've
balance
spent so
situation.
much time on that. I can tell
It could be
you.
a loose bracket too. That
I went up
causes it to wobble.
in the attic. I looked at the brackets. They're all good.
Here's what I'll tell you is last week we had the pop lock guy on, and this week, I made a video testing his skills.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Brian Sherrod, if you're up for the test,
You're right.
I will video your skills
I don't know
this
that
week.
ceiling fan repairman is.
That is
the
electric.
goal,
It's hooked up to
That is
electric. I
electric,
gotta
for God's
flip the
sake.
switch
We'll
for it to
come
come
over and
on.
do it then. You
All
can
right,
video
all right.
it.
We will make
Yeah,
it.
we'll definitely
Yes.
do
We're
that.
gonna
We'll
really
definitely
test
do
your
that.
skills. This has been an ongoing thing, this
Now-
fan battle.
Brian, if they want to get a hold of Cypress Electric, what are the ways to do that?
Well, we have a Facebook page. The best way to get a hold of me is to call me or to text me, 428-2503.
428-2503.
Yeah, but I have a Facebook page. If you want to send a message on there, it's under Cypress Electrical Services. And we're working on a website. I haven't got one established yet, but we're just now growing to that where I'm going to need a
Just
website pretty soon.
get with me on that. I'll be glad to help you out with that.
Okay, great.
If you need some
Cool.
help.
Thanks.
All right. So I'll tell you what's driving me crazy. I have certain TV shows, and I don't know if you're this way, Brian, that I try to avoid, and my wife and I have an arrangement. Some shows of mine she doesn't like, and so I don't make her watch it. She doesn't have to watch Arrow, okay? She doesn't care about it. She doesn't want to see it, and I understand. I watch it on my own. The Kardashians, I don't give a damn, But now I'm getting ready to have to add one to the list. It's this damn kid named Tyler. He's some kind of medium.
You've already
psychic.
added it to the list.
Well, I'm trying to get it on the list. You just haven't adhered to it yet.
Yeah, I tried to get him to watch it, and he's like, nope, not that one. No,
Well, you're trying to get me hooked into it.
What is this show?
Okay, it's called Tyler Henry. It's on, I think it's on E.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's a medium, and he
Like a psychic.
talks
type
to
guy.
people. Okay, the whole show is based. They have celebrities. Like they've had the dude from The Big Bang Theory.
It was Steve-O.
Last night they did Steve-O, which I was really interested because if any of y'all know about Steve-O, he had a really bad addiction problem, and his friends kind of like did this. What is it when they
An intervention.
an intervention?
That's a
Yeah, he's been
brutal,
sober
brutal.
for like 10 years, but it was really
Oh,
bad. Like
man,
he
it
was
bad.
on the verge
He was
of
on
death.
the whippets.
But anyways, a big deal then was his mom passing away. So I was like, when I saw that Tyler Henry was going to be doing a reading with him, I was like, oh, I gotta watch it to see if his mom comes through.
Of
Please come
course,
through,
she's
mom.
gonna come through.
So, anyways, yeah, I'm totally stuck on the show right now. It's so man, I love this ghost thing. Do you believe in ghosts?
I do, and I like those shows, and we have the same thing at home where me and my wife disagree on the shows, and she does not believe in that.
Look, I
He
do.
doesn't either.
Look, this Tyler guy. He looks like, number one, he looks like Macaulay Culkin. Okay, that already unnerves me. Number two, It's like David Blaine, okay? I don't know how David Blaine pulls something out of his belly button that has the name or number on it or gets it on some girl's palm. He does it, but it's called an illusion. I think this guy is just another illusionist. I think they call it a medium. I don't buy it for a second that he's chopping it up with somebody on the other side. I'm sorry. I don't.
I feel like he knows too many things for it to be fake. I'm just saying. Like,
'Cause
I
you can
believe in
never
it.
research that.
Like, I believe in it altogether. Here's my only problem. Patrick's always, like, ruining my ghost dreams, you know, and telling me it's not real. But I just want one, just one time before I die. I want to see one. Or I want to talk to one.
You're gonna see
And
a ghost.
like, I'm inviting, like, I'll walk around my house and I'll be like, if there's a ghost here,
She
yo,
does.
I'll
Have
be
you
your
ever
friend.
stayed
I'll talk to you. Let's
Have you
come
ever
on
stayed
out.
at the Crescent Hotel?
Yes.
Man, yes, we did.
did.
And nothing.
Nothing. No.
I
No,
also went to the Garden Light. Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not real. I just feel like it's because I'm too willing. They won't.
Right.
They
Don't
won't.
stay in 218 at the Crescent Hotel and stay by
We stayed
yourself.
in another haunted one. I don't remember
Stay
what it
by
was.
yourself.
I don't know, but they won't talk to me, and it's driving me bad.
So you believe in ghosts, Brian?
I do. I don't.
Okay.
I don't necessarily believe that. I watch some of these shows though,
Mm-hmm.
and there's another one that's sort of like what she's talking about, and it comes on A&E. I think it's called The Dead Files,
Okay.
and you can kind of obviously tell that this woman on this show is exaggerating and sort of
All right. What about
acting, and this
Bigfoot?
guy may be doing the same thing, but
You
know,
guys believe
there's
in
a little.
Bigfoot?
Huh?
Bigfoot? Y'all
Do I
believe
believe
in
in Bigfoot?
Bigfoot?
No,
I
not
don't know.
necessarily. I believe maybe
never
there's a
s-
big bear
I
out
don't
there.
know if I believe in Bigfoot or not.
You don't know. That's a question.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't exist.
You believe the Earth is round?
Yes.
I do believe the Earth is
Okay.
round.
Okay.
I'm not a flat
What about
earther.
UFOs and aliens?
UFOs and aliens now. Me and my mom and my sister all saw something very strange when we were like, when I was about 15.
You were on acid.
I wasn't on acid. I hadn't discovered that yet.
Oh, okay. All right. What about? Are you superstitious? Like knock on wood?
No.
Yes, I am.
Yeah?
I must admit, I don't walk under ladders.
Okay.
And I always knock on wood if something.
What about number 13?
No, I'm not superstitious about
Breaking a mirror, 7 years bad
that.
luck?
No, I'm not superstitious.
What about astrology? Your horoscope?
I've never really believed.
Now, here's why I don't believe in that one.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I mean, first of all, how many different zodiac signs are there? Maybe like 10 or something?
12, I think.
So you
but I don't
can't,
know.
it's just really hard for me to believe that everybody under one sign is going to have the
Yeah.
same shit pop off that
Well,
day.
everybody says, "Oh, but it really gets me." Yeah, but all of them, if you read them, would really be you, wouldn't they? I mean, almost. What about this? I know some of y'all are probably superstitious about this. If you get an inbox from someone who says, if you don't share this, you won't get the free iPhone.
Well, if you
I
don't
didn't
share
open
this
that one.
5 times with other people, spread the word of Jesus.
Right. What about demonic possession?
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak to those ghosts.
Okay.
They are no
Well,
welcome.
I just gave you a list of everything I don't believe in.
Okay, so here's my thing though, also with those shows. Like, they only cover so much. Like, on the readings, when they're like, somebody's coming through, they said they're at peace with how they died, blah, 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 that they're proud of you, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, man, if I do get that, first of all, let me just say, if there's any mediums out there watching this, please inbox me, message me, comment, whatever. I want you on the show. I would love to have
Oh,
a
I'd
medium.
love to have you
If
on
you
the
know
show.
a medium, if you have a friend that is one, tell them, all right? Because we need
Come
to get
prove
them
me
on here.
wrong.
But anyway, so I just want to ask some like deeper questions. You know, I'm like, why aren't these shows getting to the deeper stuff? Like, hey, I want to know this. In the afterlife, is there food? Do they eat food?
That's what you want to know. Is
That's
there
what my
food?
fat ass wants to know. I'm like, I'm for real. You don't ever hear any of them going, your mom's coming through. Hold on, she's eating some chips. Ma'am, could you finish? Could you swallow that? What you're
I
crunching?
don't think they eat. I don't know.
But that's, I want to know in my afterlife. I
See, in
get
your
to
afterlife, you want food.
eat. Yes.
That's your heaven.
Yes.
Like
and
a
if I'm
ranch,
just a spirit,
waterfall of ranch.
I don't have to keep.
Ah,
I don't have to keep some kind of ghost
Are you a
figure.
big fan of ranch?
Yes.
Oh,
that's her blood type.
Let me
is
be real
ranch.
clear though, like some of the stuff you're asking me about,
Yeah.
let's say that I don't necessarily believe in, but I don't necessarily not believe in it either.
You're just saying you're open-minded.
I'm very open-minded about a lot of this stuff, and it's only because I've had some weird experiences in my 40 years of that I've seen.
I need that weird experience.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I have none.
I've had plenty of weird experiences, just none of them paranormal.
I
Yeah.
mean, I've had about 2 or 3 that's the only way to describe it. I mean, I'm not saying that's what it was, but
Well, some of his, probably yours, are my fears. Like, I've seen in these episodes where, like this dad had come through to talk to this girl, and she was talking about how he had not been really much in her life or whatever when she was younger, and he left her mom, I guess, and had gotten remarried. Well, the mom, she was passed away too. She came through and started like saying, he's not telling you why he really left us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are they fighting in like a reading? Like the ex-wife is in here? And then I'm start tripping because, see, Patrick's the only person I've been married to. But he is ex-wife. And I'm like, oh crap, if we go to the afterlife, what if I have to deal with your exes? Like, what if I don't want to have to deal with that.
You think that's how it works? It's like the
if it
DMV.
worked-
Take a number, please.
If it worked like it did the other day, I was like, I'm just trying to have a good time floating around in afterlife, and
Just
then
keep it on a cloud with a
then
ranch
she
fountain.
comes with this again. I'm like, I got to deal with it on Earth and here.
No, I don't think it works.
Or what
that
about
way.
family members that you don't want to talk to anymore? And it's like, look, I already cut you off. And in the ghost life, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And you're like, I said, leave me alone.
Right?
It's just weird. And if you die first, am I allowed to sleep around? Is it okay then?
Oh,
or
I
are you going to be
encourage it.
watching me?
Oh,
or
I'm
when
not.
when I get
Trust
to
me,
heaven?
I'm not.
Or whatever, you're going to be like, why'd you do that?
No, because my heaven doesn't involve ranch.
Oh, well then I definitely won't be checking in your
oh my goodness.
If you could have 2 people, if you had a reading done today,
oh,
if you
that
could have
kind of
2 people
Okay.
to come through and you would talk to them, who would it be?
2 people who could come through and I could talk to them.
Given it if it was real.
All right, if it was real, any 2 people I could have come through, I'm going to go with, see, I'm on the spot here, but let's go with, boy, that is a tough one. 2 people to come through. Okay, Bruce Willis.
He's not dead.
I still want him to come through, even if he's not. And Jesus. Just so I can see.
I was gonna say Jesus.
Not because I'm overtly religious. I just want to be able to tell people what he really looks like, so they'll quit arguing about it.
Oh,
He
wait.
was a hippie, man.
Okay, what about you? Who would you see?
I think I would want to talk to Jimmy Hoffa, and the reason is he can tell me where he is.
That would
You
be
wanna know where he's
that would
buried?
be
Find
funny.
him, and I would be rich.
Yeah,
That
you
is
would.
true.
And then the other one would be the either. I had narrowed down to 2. I'm going to say Amelia Earhart, because then I could find out where she crashed and find her remains in her plane and be rich again.
She's probably in a shark's belly.
Maybe, but
Probably
But
so.
we could find the remains of that plane.
Speaking
Maybe.
of,
Unless it's
You don't want to
down
know who
in
I
the
would
church.
find or want to hook up with?
oh yeah, go ahead. Who do
The
you want to hook up
ESP
with?
or whatever.
Yeah.
Tupac, baby.
Tupac.
Tupac's not dead.
Oh, whatever.
Of course not.
Brian.
The Illuminati, Machiavelli, right?
Tupac and Biggie are kicking it
Blows-
on an island somewhere, just hanging out, best buddies.
Who?
Tupac and Biggie.
And Elvis.
And
I
Elvis
wasn't
is
a
there
Biggie
with
fan.
Elvis runs the island.
See, I mean, that's the thing is there are some diehard Elvis fans, and
There
I
are.
just don't get into
My
Elvis.
mom had a shrine to him. I'm not
I
kidding.
just picture Fat Elvis on that toilet, and
Wow,
I just,
that's not
I can't.
any
I've never
dignity
been
at
It's
all.
nothing.
You know,
Turn
no
on
one
his-
dies sexy. You know that, right? I mean,
Some people die in their sleep, and that's sexy.
they,
Is it?
they
If you
still,
got them cute,
they still evacuate
you
everything in their
cute,
body,
cute jams on.
and they're still soiled.
You sleep naked, so hey, if you die in
Hey,
your
thanks
sleep,
for putting my
that'd be
business out there. That's
wow.
great. I promised at the end of the podcast last week that I would tell the story, and because Laura had mentioned it, and so it truly is the weirdest thing that ever happened in my life, I think, as far as stories go. I worked for this company very briefly. I was in sales for over 20 years. And I worked very briefly, worst sales job I ever had. I think it was 3 months long. It was terrible. It was the worst. Maybe the worst job. but it was selling like windows and doors, like storm windows and doors. And it was the kind that were like, they had these super strong windows, and we had to do this 90-minute presentation where you'd park your truck on top of the window to show how strong it was. It was ridiculous. And then it was some ridiculous price that you charge. But they would send us within about 80 miles of Little Rock. And this particular day, I don't remember exactly where it was, like Mountain Pine, Mountain Home. I don't know. It was the right at the border of how far you could go. And it was not a wealthy community, and the windows I were selling were overpriced to begin with. And when I pulled up at the house, my first thought was, there's no way ever this person, they need to buy a house to hold the windows, not the windows.
Yeah, the value of the windows would be more
yeah,
than the house.
way more than the house. But then the salesperson training kicked in and said, never judge a book by its cover. You can never tell what's going on. And that's true. I once had a guy, when I worked for Hanks, at that time it was freight sales furniture, Lois and Lurleen Freight. But one of those was Craig O'Neill's wife.
Okay, come on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I get sidetracked. And had a guy come in overalls, no shirt, overalls, and his wife. And the salesperson whose turn it was like, oh man, I don't want that. I said, let me get that. I walked that dude around the store for an hour. He pulled $10,000 out of the front of those overalls cash.
Great.
I sold him anyway. So never judge a book by its cover. So I knock on the door. Sure enough, the guy answers. The house looked exactly the way I thought it would, unkept, not real clean, a little bit disturbing, But he told me very early on that his wife had recently passed away, and I don't mean to be opportunistic, but as a salesperson, you think, okay, maybe he's going to use the insurance money to renovate his home, so maybe there's money, I don't know. But he said, hey, would you like something to drink? Well, you're not going to say no. And so, thank God, he made me Kool-Aid. Now, for those of you who don't know, I hate Kool-Aid. I don't drink Kool-Aid. I don't want Kool-Aid. That's because as a kid, that was the drink that we got all nonstop. It was the Kool-Aid or water. Kool-Aid, I couldn't have Dad's Dr. Pepper, couldn't have Mom's Coke. It was Kool-Aid. Sharkleberry Finn, I might make an exception for, that's it. So I hate it. And so the dude gave me Kool-Aid. And so I was just sipping on it. And remember, I said it's a 90-minute presentation. This is not a short thing. So, I'm having to do this presentation. And he keeps asking me, man, you good? You need something more to drink? No, I'm good. I was just sipping it. And, probably about an hour gone by. And I realized, this guy's bubble's not dead center. I'm probably not going to close it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and go. So, I give him my card. I'm getting ready to head for the door. And he goes, hold on, I want to show you something. Okay, all right. So he goes back to, I guess, a bedroom or whatever. Comes back out with this box in his hand. Here he comes with this box. And he sets it down on the table right by the door. And he opens it up. I swear to God, he starts pulling out sex toys. And I'm a little bit stunned. I've been in sales a long time. This is an experience I have not had. And he proceeds to begin to tell me how he had taught his now deceased wife to be a dominatrix. And so he's talking about, and this is this, and this is this, and I'm like,
He was wanting you to do that stuff?
No, he was just talking about it real casually, and I'm at the verge of not being polite anymore. I'm just about to break character and go, listen, whack job.
You thought maybe he was going to show you his pet or something.
I just didn't know. I thought maybe he was lonely because his wife died and he's a little bit cuckoo, but every time I would say, I got to go, he'd want to show me more.
But look at this ball game.
Right, exactly.
Put it in your mouth.
I know.
Oh, God.
Just try it on. Smell this rag.
Bend over.
So I finally said, listen, I got to go. I got an appointment up the road, which I did. I had an appointment. And so I leave, and I'm headed, it's about 20 minutes to this appointment. About 10 minutes, about halfway there, I didn't feel so good. I was like, man, I don't feel real great. And then by the time I pulled up, I was like, man, I feel like I'm a little bit sick. If these people aren't buyers right away, I'm out. So I go in, I'm sweating. Marty's sweating. And I'm not feeling quite right. And I just, probably been there 10 minutes, and I tell the people, listen, can I just give you a card and if you guys are really interested, call me back. I'll reset the appointment for you. And they said, yeah. So I get in the car, head out, get onto not the freeway, the highway, going back home. And I made it maybe 2 miles before I felt it coming, like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. Oh my God, I don't know, maybe I ate something. Rolled down the window, threw up, pulled over on the side of the road, laid my head back, just for a second. Woke up 2 hours later. 2 hours.
On the side of the road.
On the side of the road. Thankfully, my pants were on. 2 hours. Yeah, and think about, I only had a handful of sips because I didn't like Kool-Aid. If it had been a Coke, if it had been some sweet tea.
What if it was like Wilder's or the Flavor Aid? That's what we drank in my house. At least you got Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you got
We got the
Flavor
15-cent
Aid.
ones.
Did
Wilder's.
you
No,
follow up on that?
No, man.
That's what I asked
know,
him.
everybody asked me that, and I should have. I think I was so freaked out by it. I was just so glad to be the hell away from there. It freaked me the hell out, man.
Dude, my thing is, to me, I asked.
I probably let us
I'm
do
like,
it.
you
going
should,
on.
yeah,
You were a lot younger then, too.
Oh, yeah.
You should feel
Yeah.
obligated, like
I
you
do.
should-
I do.
Because if you think you're the first person he's done that
I
to,
might have been.
he's probably done it to someone else. There's probably somebody in his basement.
Well,
like
I
I would
recommend
go
you
up in
don't use
there
Kool-Aid.
myself. I'd push that door in.
Don't drink
Ooh.
Kool-Aid, people.
No, don't use the Kool-Aid if you're going to try to get somebody. You never know what experience.
Yeah,
they
so
have.
that
Do
is the
something-
lesson. You can get roofied in other places besides bars.
Yeah, and I tell you, that box of goodies he had. If I drank enough of that, I was going to go out. I was going to go night right there, and I was going to wake up like Marcellus in Pulp Fiction. You know
He's
what
gonna
I
try to
mean?
put you on that
no.
booty
With
duty.
Zed.
Yeah.
Zed. Remember Zed?
Yeah, Zed
Yeah.
the Gimp.
Zed Dead's baby. Zed's dead,
Ouch.
baby. Yeah, it was something else.
That's frightening.
I
Hey,
bet that's probably Ving Rhames' worst role that he's ever played.
what a great role! It's so
Yeah, 'cause
memorable.
Ving
But it was-
Rhames is like a tough guy.
Oh,
And
he is,
played-
yeah.
And he played.
He was
he
a tough guy in that.
movie, yeah. I know,
Yeah.
And then
I'm
that
out on
happened
this one.
to
I
him.
don't know what.
Pulp Fiction when he's down.
I never watched it.
So
You
awesome.
don't know, you don't know what you're missing.
I probably don't.
Yeah, I probably should have done something. It's like a John Quinones thing. I should have said, he should have popped out and goes, so were you going to tell anybody this happened?
Hey,
you had
heard you almost got right.
Yeah.
Hey,
You had a
hey.
John Quinones moment this week at McDonald's.
Oh, I did, but I don't know that John Quinones would be proud. I don't know.
He probably would.
He probably
He
would,
just wouldn't have
but
got there in
wouldn't.
time to stop you.
Yeah, he'd have just been like, "Hey, man, just calm down a little." Man, I'm just big into like the domestic violence stuff. I'm not into that. And we went to McDonald's this week, and we were going through the drive-thru. So like when you pull up, right before there was an employee, a dude that was walking out the door.
He walked in front of us,
And
actually.
he walked in front of our car, but this girl was with him, and he had her like by the back of the neck, and he was like shaking her and like almost dragging her to a car. And I mean, like, I'm driving in, it's in that moment that you're like, is this happening? Like, and yeah, I'm not good at keeping my mouth shut. So
Well,
anyway,
you asked me, you
I
said,
asked
do you
that-
think he's
Well, 'cause I
are
wanted
they
to-
being silly, or
I
do you
wanted to
think
make
that's
sure
real?
first. I was like, well, I said, do you think that that's like maybe his girlfriend, or do you think that's like his kid? Because I couldn't see the girl's face because her head was, was down, but it could have very well been like a young teenager or preteen, something like that, Anyway, so I was like, do you think that was his girl? And he was like, I don't know. I think they were laughing. I was just like, ooh, I don't know. So we pull into the drive-thru and we order. And we get to the window where we pay our money, the first window.
Yeah.
And as I'm giving that girl the money, this dude walks behind her, and it was that dude, and so it was my moment. And so I was like, excuse me. And I said, hey, and he looks at me, and I was like, was that your girlfriend outside, or was that your kid? And he, like, looked at me like he had no clue what I was talking about. He was like, I don't know. And I was like, seriously, was that your girlfriend, or was that your kid? And he was like, it was none of your business. And oh, no, it is my business, sir. When you put your hands on somebody in public, it then becomes my business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to mind your business. That's why I'm not married to you, and he is. I'm like, oh, I just was so amped up.
I thought she was about to go through the
oh yeah, I
drive-thru.
told him, I was like, man, you need to keep your hands off her. I was like, keep your hands off women, period. But he just kept repeating over and over that it was none of my business.
Right.
And you know what?
But it is one of those weird moments where you don't know exactly what to do because it's not quite crazy enough that you can just out and out jump out of the car and take action, you know, because he's not.
He did walk off though. Sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go.
No.
When I told him, I was like, "Oh, it's not my business." I was like, "Well, when you do it in public, it is my business." I was like, "Well,
Yep.
better yet, let's ask your boss. Let's see if it's there."
Oh, that's
He's like,
what he
"Now
was-
you want to bring my boss into it?" And he scooted.
Yeah,
He
they
ran.
wanted to leave.
But and then the girl at the drive-thru was like, "What happened?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, he was beating up his girlfriend in the
Just
parking
frog
lot."
marching her.
But I have learned my lesson. We went to Mexico a few years ago, and on a cruise. And before we got back on the cruise, there was a couple that was fighting out there. They'd probably been drunk all day. And the girl was sitting on this bench, and he was like pushing her back, grabbed her by her neck, and shoving her back into this like bush. And of course, I get so mad about that stuff. And I went over there and I grabbed him, and I was like, "Get off her!" You know, I was like, "You don't have your right to put hands on people or whatever." And that girl immediately was like, "Leave him alone!
Yeah.
Leave him alone!"
don't
He wasn't doing
understand.
anything. And I'm just like, that's what I told Patrick. I said, when we went to the next window to get our food, I was like, I am not, a part of me wants to go to that car where he walked her to, dragged her to, but I know sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want.
No.
I could be like, "Girl, let's leave. Let's run away. Let's get you safe." But most of the time,
They won't.
sadly, unfortunately, you know, they won't. They'll start to protect them. So there's a point where you have to mind your business. But I do like to put them in check because I enjoy making a boy cry. I do.
Well, I mean, you really didn't do any harm.
No, I didn't. I called him out.
Yeah.
At least his coworker knows what he did now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're doing it in the McDonald's parking lot, I'd say it is my business. You know, now if you do it inside the back office at McDonald's, I wouldn't even know. But in the parking lot,
Yeah, if you're going to
it's
do it
my
in front of
business.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, McDonald's guy in Benton off military.
You know who you are. Don't
Yeah.
get caught, player.
Girl beating piece of trash. Anywho. So, yeah, there's that. I was waiting for John Quinones to come out like, "Hey,
Right.
hey."
Thank you.
I would love to have one of those moments. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it'd be interesting. Sure.
I love that show.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting
I
show.
have no idea who John Quinones is.
And what would you do where they put people in scenarios where it seems like something's happening and see if people will speak up? Never seen that?
Oh, it's so
not.
good. You'll have to YouTube
it's
it later.
really interesting, yeah.
Okay.
It's to see if people just do the right thing when they're out in public.
I've seen YouTube videos like that where
Yeah.
they set up situations and then see what people will do if they're going to do the right thing or not.
Oh, I always find
think,
myself
you know.
thinking that, for the most part, I think we would speak up in
Yes,
situations.
I absolutely would. You don't have to go far to find people doing the wrong thing. Just log on to social media. You can see it on any page that you want to. You know what I mean?
Speaking of social media, we can go ahead and wrap this thing up. But before we do,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to have to go. But social media and things people do. Me and you were talking about this before the show, Brian. Man, there are trends that start on social media sometimes that just drive you bananas. I remember a few months back, everybody started posting these Happy Siblings Day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I Googled it and I told Patrick, I was like, it's not even Siblings Day. And by then, I mean, a rash of these posts had been
Yeah,
put
like
out of
lemons.
pictures.
They're just all
And I'd put
dripping
like,
off the cliff.
hey, everybody, before you go posting these, it's not even Siblings Day.
Oh,
But,
oh.
okay, so there are a couple of trends that are going on right now that I feel like it's time to expire. All right, it's time to stop
Okay.
posting these. The first one would be feeling cute.
Yeah.
Think I might whatever
That's so
today. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know the post I'm talking about?
I
don't-
don't get it. I don't even know what it means. I felt cute. I did this and this and this. I don't
What
know.
is-
Okay,
what
let me
it?
give you an example. There might be a picture of Tiger Woods, okay? And it'll say, feeling cute, think I might eat some pills today. Or might, something silly, but it's not silly.
Yeah.
And that is cute because
I don't know, but so many people are doing it, and
You're over it.
a couple of them were funny at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Bill Cosby ones, or just any. It could be.
these things.
I don't know, but some of them are fun at first, but then they just get so old.
Played out.
Yes. So we need to let that one go. Feeling cute.
What's
Think
the
I
other
might
one?
just whatever today.
Stop
Yeah.
feeling cute, people.
Stop feeling cute.
You're
Yeah.
not.
All right. The other one is, so we did a thing.
Oh, that that
Or
that one.
so
yeah.
I did a thing.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Man,
You didn't
stop.
do anything.
You didn't do a damn thing.
Some of these girls will go get their hair done, and then they post a selfie, and they're like, so I did a thing, and their hair's a whole different, or they go buy a vehicle, so we did a thing, Stop. So we did a thing, okay? Again, cute baby at the beginning, so over it. Can we stop doing a thing? Let's stop doing that thing.
There are no things.
No things. So
Yeah,
we did a
but
thing.
there'll be something, you know, some new challenge,
What's
something
next?
new, any moment that will come along and replace
We need
that.
another like ice challenge, like something bold.
The ice challenge thing was kind of cool with everybody.
And
on
it
the
got
videos
beat
getting-
to
But
death,
why don't
too.
you start the 220 shot challenge?
No, I don't want to start the 220 shot challenge.
Yeah, have
because-
people come and grab a
just
220 wire.
yesterday, I watched an old episode of Criminal Minds, and someone had started an internet site where people were choking themselves.
Oh,
or something,
God.
and then
We
that
used to
kid
do
went-
that when we were younger.
Yeah, and those
Choke
people went to
yourself?
jail, so I
What
don't
was
want
it
to
that
start
we
a
were-
220 shot thing.
We were trying to
No,
pass
just
each
kidding.
other out. And now this is like before we had
Oh,
cell phones
yeah, when
and
you
stuff.
cross your arms
Yeah,
and
you
do
bend
that.
over
We used to do that as
and
kids.
breathe in like 20
Yeah.
times real deep. And then at the end, somebody would like push on your
Yeah.
chest, and you'd like,
You know how close we probably all came to dying as
Yeah,
kids doing this
we did
stuff
that in
we
junior
did.
high. That was silly.
"Oh God, I love you, Sling County."
But I never ate Tide Pods. I'll
I
tell you
never ate a
that.
Tide Pod, no.
And on that note,
yeah.
I will celebrate and I will say thank you, and we will see you
Thanks,
again
guys. Next week.
next week.